So come to order, please. First 15 minutes will be public comment. I would like to say that the road and bridge crew has completed all the projects except painting down on the Smoky. They got the new boards on the merry-go-round, got it greased, got boards replaced on all the picnic tables. They took a disc and a little tractor from the fairgrounds and did the trail.
Okay. Yep.
So got that ready to go.
Speaking of the Smoky, I've got a picture. Somebody had donated a dock out there,
Right.
and there's no stabilization on the dock. We've got to do something with it. It's
There's just some weights and cable that
what's
hold it in one spot. Yes.
is that going?
Yes.
Okay.
I will not walk out there on it.
Oh,
I
no.
tried that.
You seen that? It needs stabilization. I think it needs to be solid. Starting at the ramp, make that last two sections solid. I don't know, and then get some cables that go back to shore or something. Yeah, it is.
See that out back over there?
So we need to look at it. Somebody's going to fall off that thing. We did go out and do some electrofishing out there, and kind of interesting findings. It's getting overrun with green sunfish. And I think the problem is there's not enough cover for the bass to ambush those fish. There's just no cover in it. So we need to maybe get some Christmas tree type things, cedar trees or something like that in there. Rock piles, that would help a lot. The bass they're good, healthy bass, but there's too many bait fish.
That's the bench.
That's cool.
Scott Gilmer, we put it around the fire pit. There's several other benches just like that.
Yep.
This is the one we.
Yeah, I was out there the other day.
Yeah.
Cool. I did have a couple of questions that were brought up. One, they're out there trying to mow, but there was been a trailer parked there for 4 weeks
Yes.
and didn't know if there was a regulation on how long they can park in one spot.
We're going to be talking about that.
Okay.
Yes.
Hold off on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that there too.
They did apply some more granular weed control in there too, while the biologist was out.
Are there good an amount of channel cat when you did your test?
Yeah. Actually, hit some nice ones too. Good. They were schooled up. It was kind of funny. Anywhere where there was brush cover, they were schooled up in there, which was kind of odd, but that's what they're doing. And he weighed one that was, I don't know, probably 3 pounds, 4 pounds. Yeah. I'd never been involved with electrofishing, so I thought I'd check it out. Pretty interesting.
Is that set way down on the bottom, or they just got a big ring?
Little probes hang in the water about this far, and hit it with the generator, and you see the fish start popping up like popcorn. It just stuns them just for a little bit. The big one's got to be pretty fast. It stuns them just like that, and then they take off. But yeah, it's pretty interesting.
We have no other comments. Let's go ahead and pay the bills anyway.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
And I will second that.
$177,801.90.
Been moved, seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's passed. Minutes been signed. You get a pretty good chance to read the minutes.
Yes. I would make a motion get that open, to approve the minutes of May 31st, 2023.
No second.
Been moved in second. We approve the May 31st minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, pose same. Motion is passed. If we have no other comments, Karen's here. We'll just get started.
All right. Well,
She has a long way to go.
yeah, I did. I thought maybe I might get a little sprinkle on me, but I walked
You walked too
fast.
fast.
I walked really fast. Well, I'm here today because we have a story walkout in front of our library, but that was with a grant. And one of the other libraries in the Northwest Kansas decided they didn't want theirs, so they gifted it to us. So we thought a good place to put that would be the Smoky Gardens. And so the story walk is we put books in there, and then the families can walk and read along as they go. And we thought maybe the Smoky Gardens might be a good place to put something like that. We have everything to put it together, but we're not really capable of doing that. And we wondered well, first of all, we wanted permission to put it down there. And we wondered if the county employees would install it for us.
How many podiums or?
There's 10 of them. Here's kind of what they look like. There would be 10 of them. And we have everything, including the sandcrete, the post, everything.
Except the post holes.
Except we just don't have holes to put them in. I mean, we could put it in another park in town, but we thought that it would be a nice place out there. And we would take care of putting the stories in and that kind of stuff.
Now, how do you determine the location of these? Is there a,
Like those, we just kind of put them so far apart.
okay.
And I've been down to the Smoky and looked, and I thought maybe, where that covered thing is there, maybe from that corner down just along the side there. If it's possible, I don't know.
Going south or going
On the east side of that. If we went down that, started there and just went down a little ways. We'd have to go out and kind of measure around to see, but
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have to put all 10 up, but that's what we have. So, and that's what usually we use for, as far as a book, it's about 10 of them. But
Yeah, I wouldn't see a problem with it as long as they're, in a spot they're not going to get away with something else, whatever they.
yeah, it's like, that's what I wasn't sure if, when I looked to see if there was anything that would interfere. I mean, if we would be interfering with something along that side of the east side of
We'll
it.
just have to have you meet with Rod Roeder. And
Yeah, I haven't.
the
We wanted to
groundskeeper.
get permission first
Yeah.
to ask him if, and before we went any farther with it. But everything's sitting in our back room, and we kind of need to get out. So, but at some point when they would have time to put them together.
No, the more use we can get out of that facility down there, the better.
Well, that's what we
I'm
kind of
concerned.
thought it would be a good place to put it because we have one here in town.
Yeah.
So,
But it's amazing how many people go down there, that Smoky Gardens.
it is.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think this would be something that,
Originally, we thought maybe the walking trail,
right,
but it just doesn't appear to get used as much. And we thought with the kids stuff,
right there.
right there, it might be actually it would be used more down in that area there.
Less likely to get into rattlesnakes and stuff down there
Yeah.
too. You know, so-
Yeah, and I don't want to be changing that when there's rattlesnakes. But they're really are very nice containers. I mean, we've had a little bit of issue with the sun beating on them, but they're really nice. And we were really pleased to take this extra one when it was given to us. So
Well, I think it'd be okay for her to talk to Rod,
okay,
and then you guys can make a decision of where you want them,
okay.
you know,
Well,
just off the road enough, but to where maybe it's close to them poles that line it, and easy to mow.
yeah, I can meet him down there or something. We can kind of look at it a little bit better and see. It doesn't really matter to us where it's at. I mean, which,
Well, it might, the groundskeeper.
Yeah.
he might
yeah,
have
I didn't know
better
who
idea.
takes care of that.
Jerry Copeland, he's doing a great job of mowing.
Yeah, it looks really nice down there, and we just thought it'd be a nice addition. So,
Okay,
okay, well,
Sounds
we
good.
appreciate you letting us do that.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't even sit down, Julie, so you can come right on out.
Man, I walked in right on time, I guess.
We're a little ahead of schedule. There's still a few minutes of public comment. So. Go right ahead.
Going ahead, okay, perfect. So I was just coming to give a quick update and then also talk with you guys about our meeting that we had with Randall Raby from the Northwest Kansas Planning and Development Commission. I know he came, I think, to your April meeting, I believe that was.
Sounds about right.
April or March or April, and you guys had recommended him to come to our meeting. So we did get together with our board, the city manager, and clerk, and then we talked with Ashley as the county clerk because she's worked with them on several projects, and we all got our concerns together on kind of what we would like to see from this group if we choose to move forward or start to participate again, because with that, they are the designated EDD for our region and the only one in our region. And so that's given to them, that title and that responsibility from the EDA.
Yeah.
And so our regional office is like the overall region is in Denver, and then they split it up between the state. And so they are our EDD. So without us being a part of their Northwest Kansas Planning and Development Commission, we are not able to apply for EDA grants,
Right.
which does affect some of the grants that the college is doing, things that we could possibly do here in the future, we're looking to do in the future that would help with infrastructure, different things like that would affect projects we can do here. So knowing all of our concerns, we invited him to our May meeting, which was May 30th. Yes, Tuesday, May 30th. And we asked him to bring a few things with him. We did ask if he could bring a few board members with him if possible. We asked him to also bring us an updated list of the current board members. We also did ask for him to bring what the current due structure looks like, and then give us a list of the projects that have affected Sherman County since 2020. So he was not able to bring any board members with him. He did bring us the due structure and the list of board members and whatnot on there, but some areas were blank. So he said if once those get updated, he'll send that out to us. He also sent out the link to Rochelle, and she shared it with our board so that our board members could watch their meetings and stuff, because all of their meetings are held in Hill City. They do have the Zoom link now, but they don't travel from county to county. And so we let him kind of share his piece on and kind of where he's at and what they're doing. But then we came back to him saying, well, we know that we need to be a part of this organization because of the opportunities it does provide for our community. But with that, even though you are the designated EDD, we still have expectations. We shouldn't be having to rewrite grants that you send us for review and us having to rewrite them completely. We want to make sure that the communication goes both ways, that it's a fluid relationship. Because if you guys are successful, we're successful. And it's not we're against you. We want to be partners with you, but we haven't felt that partnership. And so we did say we wanted better quality and executed grants and program documents, but also then having him come to our community or someone from their board or whoever to come to the community, and not just coming when it's to renew our dues, or it's giving us a either biannual or quarterly update on what's happening. We know that's kind of hard because they are a smaller staff as well, but even just sending an update in an email or saying, hey, can I hop on a Zoom link and giving an update so that we feel that we're in a good partnership there. So with that being said, our board, my board, the SCCD board, is recommending that we do pay our dues to be a part of that, with us setting these expectations of, not saying that that's going to fix it, but at least we've put out our concerns, and we know that the opportunities that we can get through grants that they have to support with the letter of support and kind of signing off saying, yes, we will help with this grant. We feel that it's responsible of us to be a part of that, but also making sure we express our concerns moving forward.
Okay.
So that's kind of our recommendation. I know that's what you guys had told him that he would need from our board to come here. So wanted to give that update. So we did have that meeting, and that's where we are at there. So.
And do they have a schedule? Are they planning on raising dues or doing anything with that?
I think they're kind of in a transition point right now. I think they're looking at a lot of different things. I know their office is down. I think they said three staff members. So they're looking for new grant writers, and they're actively looking to have someone step in for Randy's role. I think he said he just turned 70. I think that's how old he said he was turning, or 70. So he's ready to retire as well, but they need to find someone to step into those roles so he can train them before stepping down.
Right.
So just trying to find what that functional structure looks like moving forward. So they haven't said anything about increasing dues that I know of, or anything from those lines. So I think that maybe with some of those changes, they may have to look at what that looks like moving forward to what their office is able to provide. So,
Okay.
Yeah. But
Quick question on grant writing. So do we rely on them to do most of our grant writing then?
no,
Okay.
So-
So do we have a need then in our county and in our city to hire a person to do grant writing for us?
it depends. Personally, it depends on what we're working on. I think the one part of it is we need to have a vision and a goal of where we're going so that we can see what grants to apply for at the right time. Because certain grants only fulfill certain needs or certain projects. So I feel like if we had someone full time, they wouldn't be busy, or they wouldn't have those enough to do for that task at this point in time. I think it's having that project and then breaking it down and having that person say, okay, you're focusing on, example, the parks. We want to renew all the equipment in the parks or something. Having that person finding all those grants in there and what steps that fulfills for the community for that project. I think a lot of it is there's a lot of grants out there that it can be overwhelming for anyone to look at, but it's also they have such fine guidelines on what you're able to use it for. I mean, it can be as simple as you can't use it for planting grass, but you can put in a water system, something along those lines, just as an example. So really understanding those details and having the right stuff in place to move forward with that project. One of the things that we were lacking when we started was a housing assessment. We couldn't apply for anything with housing because we didn't have that assessment done. So now that that's done, we're able to apply for funding and different things like that. So making sure we have all those things in place before we start those projects, I guess, is the big thing too.
Another way I look at this though is when you have someone full-time and that's their job, that they can go out and they can find some grants for us. Every group, every workshop that I've been to, they've all said how many grants are out there, but we don't really have time to sit down and say, oh, I want to do that grant, or maybe we can do that and write a grant for it. But if we had someone that could explore that for us, and go ahead and look for grants for those particular areas, we could we could come up with other things that maybe not be in our long-term goal.
Right.
Just at the top of my head, we know that we've talked about jailhouse, talked about a hospital. Okay, we have a group right now that's working on daycare. And I mean, the list seems to go on and on and on. And it seems like to me, between the city and the county, that we could have someone do a lot of work and maybe bring in some money and do some projects that we may have not thought about at this particular time, but may need to down the road. And if we could do that, I think it'd be worth our time. And definitely worth our money, especially if we could bring in some good grants to help our community.
Right.
Yeah, but that's why I just wanted your opinion on that. But you don't think that should be a full-time position at this time?
I don't think so, just because if you don't have that vision of where you're going, then you're having someone kind of trying to hunt and peck for what they're looking for exactly. And grants are so specific anymore these days that you have to make sure you have all the details in place before even applying for them. I don't know how many grants that I looked at that I'm like, oh, this would be great for this community building. And it can be something along the lines of, well, has there been a feasibility study done showing that it's a need for a 100-mile radius around you? And it's like, well, no, we don't have that. So then that person, they could start that, but that also costs more money to get that feasibility study done. So I think even if it's short-term goals, so say, for example, the childcare, we look at the grants we want to apply for, or we look at the project we're doing, then we have someone maybe contracted to help with that. But I don't know if full-time is right now is the need for those things.
Well, it seems like to me there was, I'll just say 10 years ago, it may be a little bit longer than that. They had a big plan, a 30-year plan. And somewhere along the line that has kind of disappeared because you have turnover of people. But somewhere I would think that plan would still exist, that we could pull out and see where that is and capitalize on that or move forward on that. But have you heard of that or seen that? Or?
No, I have not. I've actually, talked with
She's
several
not
people.
even 30 to know
No.
that.
She's not 30 yet. So.
I am too. But so I think that's even, like I said, having short-term goals or long-term goals will help us decide, what best fits for that position. Because it could even be where, it's up to so many hours in a year that they work on that. Or when we applied for the Rural Champion program through the Rural Development and Prosperity program up at the state, that's kind of what that person was going to be, is they focus on one project for the year. And that's what they did. And it was the pilot program, and they would provide up to $20,000 for their salary to do that. And in that, they would get training to do in leadership, how grant writing, those types of things. We were not a community that was selected. There was very few. I know Wallace County received a rural champion, and then I think everything else was east of us. So that's kind of in the works, and I don't know what that program looks like, but that might be something that could potentially fit that role for now, where it's not a full-time, but it's like, we know we have project X, Y, and Z. Those are your 3 projects this year to focus on, or something from that standpoint. So I think we could make it work for our community for what we're working towards.
So what are we working towards? Who has sat down and set up this goal of what we're working for?
Well, I know for us, our focus is housing right now, and I'm working on several projects that I can't really disclose, but from a business standpoint, I know those are the things that we're focused on, but I think it's one of those things as we move forward that all of our entities need to get together to figure out what that is. Otherwise, we'll have multiple groups working towards different things, which is not what we want because resources are scarce. So
how are we going to pull everybody together and come up with that?
I think it's each group having their ideas and their goals of what they want to do, and then coming together to see what better serves the whole community and how do we move forward in that. And I know that's hard, but it's one of those things you have to have that vision that it may not be what I personally want or what I think is best, but if it fits the community's needs, then that's maybe what we work on and work towards. So that's just kind of my thoughts on it, because there are multiple groups working on things that I've said, hold up, there's different groups, and trying to connect them. Otherwise, we're pulling from multiple places and not towards one vision.
Right now, we're pretty emphasized on trying to get this housing project going. And with the needs of what we hear coming down the pike of, schoolers going to open up in 2024, 25. which sounds like a long ways out there, but if you're trying to build a house,
Mhm.
you've got to, get some things going, and they're talking of employing 40 people possibly. And that's a big jolt.
Mhm.
And, we can't get one house built right now, let alone 3 or 4 to help that out. Plus there's other entities that are trying to build programs here in Goodland, so.
Mhm. Yeah, it's almost like a trickle down effect. If we don't have housing, we can't employ more people because there's not a place for them, and they can't bring their families. So we don't have childcare for it just is one of those things that rolls.
Right.
So it's having that vision of what's the next steps and where are we going as a community all together to push forward on that and achieve that. So
And then you're talking about housing, you're talking about infrastructure,
Mhm.
utilities,
Mhm.
sewage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because with more people comes more things, and that piles up. And so making sure all of that, yes, exactly. So.
We definitely have a lot of groups doing a lot of different things.
Mhm.
And it seems like we could pull them together somehow and work together. I mean, like you said, we have the housing project, we have daycare project, we have a group that's trying to figure out a bicycle trail that would lead from town out to Walmart to get people out there and back.
Mhm.
Talk about people looking at trying to figure out how we can do transportation for our whole county instead of just our city.
You gotta find a central focus, pick something
Mhm.
and do it.
Mhm.
You can talk it to death, but doing it is
Yeah.
a whole different thing.
So prioritizing what
Yeah.
comes first and
Right.
then hitting the next.
Everybody's got good ideas, but what's the priority?
Mhm. Yep. So
Okay.
Yeah.
We have things to work on.
So it
always.
is a recommendation of the SCD board to go ahead and pay our dues.
Yes.
So I'll make that motion to do so.
We'll second.
Been moved in second to pay the,
Northwest Kansas Planning and Development Commission. It's a
Thank
long
you.
one. Yeah.
dues. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is passed, so.
Now that's for 2024, is it?
2023.
23.
Yeah. So this year
Okay.
we haven't heard anything different so we're on that. So.
All right.
Okay. And then the only other update but just we have the shindig happening on the 24th, and we're going to do it in the evening this time. That was kind of some feedback I received from the community that some people work on Saturday, so they'd like to join. So we'll do it from 4 to 8 in the evening. So
We talked about it earlier, that we're getting things, all the picnic tables have been repaired, the merry-go-round's been greased, and new boards put on, haven't been painted yet, but we'll get that done. The walking trail's been worked,
perfect.
so, and our groundskeeper down there, Terry's been doing a good job of maintaining, keeping mowing with all the moisture. I think he mows and then turns around and mows it again, so.
I can imagine.
This is something the library proposed
Oh,
to do down there.
this is like the one they have it right
Yes.
over there. That's
They,
yeah.
a group, one of the other libraries in the area did not want theirs, and so they gave it to Goodland.
Okay.
And so she wants to set it up down there.
Great. I think that's great.
Story time.
Awesome. Yeah. All right.
All righty.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Stanley and Mrs. House, you got anything?
Did you guys get the toilets pumped down there?
I did.
We made the call.
Yeah.
They're basically unusable.
Yeah, they made the call and asked them to put some blue scent or whatever in them when they did it, so.
I got a strong stomach.
Now that was what we were told also. So, yes, I don't know what their schedule is, but I know they've been called to ask to pump both sides of the smoking, the two.
Yes, should be, but not so. Not so. But yeah, so they do some
similar, but yeah, so it's kind of a mesh. So we're working on a lot of these projects and that, but some of them don't necessarily fit into the wheelhouse of what we do. It's more in the community. There's some things that-
Mrs. Cedarstrom, do you have any?
No,
I just wanted to come and see if I was.
her, but she went early.
Yeah, she got there early, so.
I'm a little late,
I
sorry.
didn't even get
That's
to
all
sit
right.
down. No, it's okay. They're like, come on up. So, but yeah, so that's kind of how meshing is.
Mr. Magdalene.
Rod, we're waiting on Rod Roder. He'll be here between now and 8:45. So
Okay,
while we're waiting, if I could have a 10-minute executive session for non-elected personnel for the 3 commissioners and myself.
okay.
I'll make the motion for 10-minute executive session, non-elected personnel.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. You need either just the three.
Look on his face, so he's gonna ask for money.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Meeting.
That's later
Commissioners, back to order. Are we gonna go executive session with Mr. Roder then too, sir?
Yes, and we're gonna get Mr. Penalto, or excuse me, Sheriff Penalto on the phone as well.
Okay.
Non-elected. Attorney Klein.
And how long do you think?
We probably need 20 minutes.
Ron, I enjoyed
You want me in here?
being down there talking to your crew.
Yeah, you stop down again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that.
Do I
Yeah.
hear a motion to go into executive session for
I'll make a-
20 minutes?
I'll make a motion, executive session for 20 minutes.
I'll second.
Actually, can I use this to call?
And reconvene here.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We're going to executive session for 20 minutes. We're back in regular session. Thank you, Rob.
Yep.
Do I hear a motion that we close the Smoky Gardens at noon or at midnight, 12:01 on the 14th through noon on the 16th, and then again 12:01 on the 19th to noon on the 22nd for preparation for shindig in the park.
I will so move.
I will second that.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pose same sign. Motion is passed. Okay. You just want to come look at us, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there any other business that needs to come before us now?
I believe so.
Okay. I entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion passed.